Good day to you guys, and welcome to James Fishing. Today I want to share with y'all a little something that I've been asked time and time again on how I tie my leaders. What do I use as far as knots go when I tie my leaders? And today I'm gonna show y'all what I use. It's not complicated, it's pretty simple. It takes time for you to master it, I guess, even though I am nowhere near a master on doing it. But I'm going to show you guys. First one I'm going to start off with, I'm using my Cast King 3G2 rod with, of course, Mega Jaws reel. This is my flipping rod. And what I am going to show you with this guy, I have used this pretty much for whenever I'm throwing a frog or throwing a jig. It's pretty much my go-to setup and rod and reel. Okay, on here right now I have tied on a, if you can make that out, that is pretty much an Alberto knot. An Alberto knot is a really easy knot to tie, and it's really fast whenever you are trying to tie on the fly, using my little nippers here. And it's really easy to do whenever you're on the boat. You snag onto something that's really good as far as weight wise, and you can't get it loose, and you end up snapping off and breaking off because you couldn't get it undone. Everybody does it, everybody goes through it, it happens. So first thing I do, I'm using fluorocarbon. I always use fluorocarbon, 100% fluorocarbon, whenever I tie a leader. And you ask why I use fluorocarbon. I use fluorocarbon because fluorocarbon has a lot of stretch, and when I'm tying to braid, I like that stretch, so that way it doesn't bust, doesn't break off, and it allows you to fight the fish and not give the fish the chance to unload your string, unload whatever you have, force against him trying to bring him in, and it helps with that stretch. That's just my belief. That's why I use it. I've had a lot of luck with it, a lot of good luck, brought in a lot of big fish with it, so that's what I stick to. Okay, so I got the loop. That's what I start out with, and I always make the loop on the fluorocarbon side. I don't do it on the braided side. And I run my braided through the loop. Give myself not a lot of line, not a big loop either, but just enough that I can work with. And alrighty, so what I do when I put that braid through that loop, I'll hold the braid and the loop at the same time. Now with this extra tag end with the braid, I use that, and I will go around the fluorocarbon, just go around it 5 times. That's 3, 4, 5, and you can see that there. I'm going around the fluorocarbon with the braid. I'll go an extra 6. Okay, so what I do next, I'll hold the other side of the fluorocarbon and braid, and I will go back the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alrighty. And the way I went through the loop with the braid, I go back through that same loop, that same loop that I started out with. I'll go back through it the opposite way that I've started through it, and put the rest of my string through it. this is pretty much what you should have. It looks twined, binded, and it's together. Now what I do, I wet it up, I let go of the tag ends, and I grab the main strings, and I will pull them together and give them a nice pull together. And then that is going to be your outcome on the Alberto knot. Nice, little, easy knot. It holds really well. It goes through the guides really well. And another thing I do to ensure that this knot will not come apart, and I've talked about it before with my friends, I pretty much, on the fluorocarbon end and on the tag end of both the braided and fluorocarbon, pretty much, I will cut, you can see this, I will cut the knot right at the base of the fluorocarbon. Have that much left over. Now what I do to reinsure that my knot does not come apart, I'll use a lighter and I will grab that fluorocarbon. You can see it. I will heat that little tag end up and it'll push it back, and I use my finger to push down on it. If you can see that, that little bit of mushroom on the string will help keep that string from going back through all the mess of that knot that you made. And then I'll go back on the other side with the braided. And this is the braided side. I will do, and I'll do the same thing with the braided. Make the little mushroom head so that way it won't go back through. And that is what I use, and it's called the Alberto knot. My little touches at the end are burning the tag ends, and they help hold. You will like that. I guarantee you will like that. It's not complicated. It doesn't take long to do. You don't have to be a pro to do it. And I definitely guarantee you, you will like the outcome as far as the durability from it. It's helped me time and time again. I use it all the time. And just showing you my little secret to burning the tips, burning the ends of the tag end to help keep it from coming apart. It always helps. You can use super glue. A lot of people do different things. Super glue, I used to use super glue until it made a mess in one of my bags, and I pay a lot of money for what I got, so I don't need to be making a big mess. So the last thing that I came up with that I actually saw somebody do was use a lighter to burn the tag ends, and it helps. Alrighty, now I'm going to move over and onto the next knot. I will show you how I tie a FG knot. I use an FG knot on my spinning reel to tie a leader on because the FG knot is a little bit longer of a knot. It is a very, very good knot as well. And I use that to tie a smaller finesse style string to it because you can really get more of the string twine into each other with that style of knot. And I'm going to show you that with my Speed Demon and my Speed Demon Pro rod. This is a Speed Demon, I'm sorry, this is just a regular Speed Demon bass rod, not the Pro rod, but this is a Speed Demon the newest spin cast reel, and I'm going to use this guy as an example to how I tie on my leaders with an FG knot on it. Same concept. I use the lighter on my tag ends to ensure that the knot won't come apart. Alrighty. Okay. Just getting a little set up here now. The key to an FG knot, you have to have tension on the string that you are tying the leader to. It is kind of hard to keep. I like to pretty much make sure I've got it on the pole. I give me plenty of slack on the line that I'm tying the leader to, and I point the pole away from me, and I use the tension of the actual rod, the tip of the rod, to hold and give me that tension that I need for the string. And that's what I use. All right, let me I'm showing you guys two of the casting products that I use to mess with my knots and cut my strings. And I use both. This guy's got the little string nippers on it. If I don't have it, I'll reach over and get my other string nippers. And I always keep this guys in the boat with me at all times, or in my bags, pretty much, because my bags are always with me at all times. Alrighty. So this is actually 12-pound, actually no, this is 10-pound test, and I am tying to a 30-pound braid. And that was the same thing. No, actually, on the other one that I just showed you on the Alberto knot, that one actually I have a 40-pound braid with a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader that I put on it. This guy is 8 pounds test. I normally, every now and then, when the bite is tough and you need that extra finesse presentation, go with a lighter string. I believe me, I am skeptical of fishing a light string because of the fact it'll break off. Nobody likes break-offs, especially when you're fishing a tournament. You got a good fish on it, because I get very pissed off when I lose a fish. But 100% fluorocarbon actually helps keep that fight alive and will help with the stretch and not bust. But I also use pretty much 6, 8, and 10 are the lightest that I'll go on a leader on a spin cast for finesse fishing. And that's what I use. Alrighty, so let's get on with the FG knot. So, pretty much you keep your tension on the main line, like so. And you may laugh, but I don't have 3 hands, so you have to use your mouth. Anyways, here we go. Whenever I get started with the knot, I make sure that I have plenty of fluorocarbon. it's just slack on the other end to work with. And this is what I do. You go over the top, underneath, away from you, then you go underneath, towards you. So pretty much you repeat that process, and I do it 10 times. Now 10-time count for me is 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, all the way pretty much back and forth, away from me, back to me, away from me, back to me, 10 times. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alrighty. So that was 10 times, back and forth, away from me, and back to me. And that's pretty much what your knot should look like. I know it's hard to see, but with the 2 tag ends hanging, it looks like, if you ever braided hair, it looks like this little piece of knot, it just looks like the line is braided together and they're intertwined. Okay, so once I get those loops around each other, what I'll do, I'll grab both parts of braided, the tag end and the main line part, and I will get my fluorocarbon and I will tie a half knot around both of them together. So tie a half knot to both. Like so. And then I will do that process 2 times. I'll go, when I tie my other knot, my other half knot, I'll go the opposite way that I went with the first half knot. The opposite way. Tighten that down. Alrighty. It's coming together. Then next, I'll take the tag end of the braided side and I will hold the main line and the fluorocarbon together, and I will tie a half knot with the braid around those two. So I'll pretty much, I'm tying a half knot with the fluorocarbon around both braid, and then after that I'll tie a half knot around the main line braid and fluorocarbon together. Pretty much twice. I'll do that twice, just to pretty much lock in the 2 lines even more, to kind of braid them together even more. I pretty much do twice. That was one. Alrighty, that is 2. Okay, the knot is coming together. You can see it. This knot is a lot longer than the Alberto knot. Alrighty. Just give me a little more slack. Now I'll grab the main line and the fluorocarbon side at this point, and I will pull them together. Just clinch it down. Same thing with both tag ends. Just kind of clinch them down together. Like so. Alright, so after I've done that, I will get my fluorocarbon, the tag end of my fluorocarbon, and I will snip it, get my lighter, and do the same thing that I did with the other knot that I did. Get that tag in, mushroom down, and I will repeat the same thing with the braided. My tag in on the braided, mushroom it down as well. Put a little saliva on it. Give it another nice clean pull. Don't pull too hard where the line's cutting into your fingers. And then there you go. That is an FG knot. And that's the knot that I use for most of my finesse. And I do this knot on my spinning reels because of the fact that the guides and eyelets are a lot wider and bigger on a spin cast pole than what you get on a bait casting pole. The eyelets on a bait caster are really little towards the end, so that's why I use an Alberto knot, because it goes through them guides real easily. Not saying that this doesn't go through the guides real easily, but it's just a little bit more snaggy than an Alberto knot. Alrighty, so I have done both the Alberto knot and the FG knot. I hope you guys were able to see it. I know it's kind of hard to see line, but till the next time, thank y'all for watching. As you can see, my little brat girl's right here next to me. Thank y'all. Bye.